The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. Well, it is yet again another edition of the Big Issue. And of course, the big issue for today is building collapse. Collapse building as death traps in Nigeria. Of course, with me here in the studio to discuss the big issue, our in-house analyst, Silas Ezebu,
Welcome to
and Inse Anthony.
Thank you.
I am your regular host, George Agba. Well, on November 1 this year, this 21-story building collapsed, killing about 45 persons, including the owner of the building, Mr. Femi Osibola. And of course, as of yesterday, it was discovered that the building, a 21-story building, as well as other two buildings, structures that were being erected alongside with it, had no insurance cover. Insurance operators under the auspices of Nigerian Insurance Association, as well as the insurance brokerage fraternity, that is the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, were still searching for the likely insurer of the building, but no avail. And of course, the Commissioner for Insurance, Lagos State, Mr. Sunday Thomas, said there was the need to implement compulsory insurance for public buildings and buildings under construction. The issue at stake here is the way collapsed buildings have been reported in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, to have become the world junkyard of collapsed buildings, worth billions of naira. But that means I think we'll start with the idea that Nigeria has become a junkyard of collapsed buildings. Why is it so? Why has it's an age-long issue? At the end of the day, there seems that there's no end in sight to it.
Indeed, it is very disheartening that a building of that magnitude would collapse. And this has brought up a whole lot of issues concerning surrounding collapsed buildings in the country, and the culpability of the authorities who should be in better positions to ensure that the structures, the buildings that are put on ground are sound for people to be able to live in and do businesses without any fear. But we found out that that has not been the case. We've had a huge number of collapsed buildings, and this begins to call to question the integrity, the work of those officers, public officials who are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring quality controls on those buildings, giving approvals, and then assessing the kind of work that is being done on the building is really disheartening.
Well, Mr. Silas, in a country where state will that we suffer about how many million, 21 million something, or housing deficit, and then the ones they were trying to erect was collapsing. And at the end of the day, for how long this has been, and the government has not done anything to make sure that measures are put in place for buildings of this magnitude are being erected. I do not suspecting compromise in terms of the process leading to the granting of that, the architectural provisions in building these houses are not really well checked before such buildings are being erected, putting like the lives of Nigerians at risk. Imagine you get off from here now, it's about 45.
Yes. It's very, very sad. Sad and saddening that we are today getting about class begin and the strenuous short amount of life of this world. The number of people who just went about the normal business who are ill and hearty, just trying to help them do something. If anybody that just went there to transact the business, or see somebody who want to do normal work, and then just see yourself like that. It's very sad and sad. I'm sure a lot of new families do grieve. Um, some of them are very mad, some of them are a lot of, as even one of them is a new service who just finishes school and trying to looking towards the future, what to bring, and then all of them are dead and buried with the loved ones. It's very sad, and there's no right now, but there's there's still a kind of discussion going on. But on the face value, whenever such a thing happens, you know that water has passed on the bridge. Uh, some people didn't do what they should do. Okay, and that's why suffering something of this like it's a very big disaster. In every application, whether in terms of life loss, how much is one life loss? Whether Nigeria, who are getting knocked out by the life is sacred and life is present. Okay? Then have to know them. So by the time I don't want to still find more people. This first time people say a lot most people are trapped there. Who I know is not true. But now but something that was out and nothing to up here. So it's sad. One thing that whatever I think about it hits me in the face that Nigeria cutting corners is like something part of our DNA. And then when we cut corners, along the way to come out front us. We can cut us, cheat one another, can forgive one another about one beings. But this is not know that. When they are tired, when they cannot carry what they're giving them, they fall. When they fall, they destroy everything. You sit down. This is the first time that the developer died, in the rubble, in the fall. I had a report that over the last few years now, few years, no 21 big buildings are collapsing left above. 21. Kingsway. And till then to now, I've not heard that somebody has been arrested, prosecuted, no arrest. But after some time, when the media hype is not around it, they just go behind and settle and say, it's an accident, and then they get away and consider that as if nothing happened. And those who are there have gone away with their loved ones and gone on with the courts for a long time, forever. So this third person, somebody, I wish you had been alive to maybe tell us what to do with this project that we can always speculate on capital innovation, but you must know that if something like that happens, there are a lot of parking at different levels. At different levels. This man, the people that built, such big houses, structures across the world, UK, US, South Africa, I'm not going to the Nigerian system. Does it strike you as something? Like when I just go outside, they abide by all the rules. Then when they come to Nigeria, it's the other way around.
Nobody has heard that any of the buildings he built outside the conscience of the country collapsed.
But no, you need to have, they can have a fire, earthquakes, this and that. But building just coming down because the people who know that there's situation at stake, they know the worth of what they need to lose. Can I control how many billions are going to do? That by the time they just say you find out how much they lost in this structure alone. I talked about human life first. And talking about how much the power of cement now. They and the level. What has gone into these buildings is billions, and now it got to waste.
And what even, not just for the building, for the construction of the building, what individuals have had to cough out to pay. I understand that a unit was going for between $500,000, $500,000 to $3 million, depending on the floor. The higher the floor, the more expensive it was. And a number of people have already put down down payments for this. So it's not just the builder, the other investors. People have lost resources. And then you
where are you going to get it back?
how would that? So,
So it's
a waste at
calamity
on all fronts.
And even internationally, they look at Nigeria. What's wrong with Nigeria?
Yeah.
Do you understand? People when they go to here, when they climb to state, they will checking the weather is going to fall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the people are not sleeping very well in Lagos and other places. These are staying so high, but they don't know whether it will come crashing anytime. Something of this kind of a building to just come down like this.
It's very, very annoying.
So in fact, they need to do a lot of
Very, very
integrity check on all the buildings in Lagos, all the high-rise buildings. They need to do it and see if you can survey before in case more people and sort all things.
Well, before we continue, let's just quickly take a short break, and we'll be back in a moment.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter. The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back. We are still on the Big Issue in Leadership podcast. And of course, the big issue of the day is collapsed buildings as death traps in Nigeria. And of course, we are actually interrogating why Nigeria, especially Lagos, the commercial hub of the country, has become a junkyard for collapsed building. Madam Inse, we've talked about the developer. And of course, we heard Alexander say he has been developing building houses abroad and not only Nigeria. But it happened that it is the building in Nigeria that has collapsed,
Yes,
and then bringing him to a very tragic end. So are we to then blame the builder, that's Femi Osebona alone, or what of the contractors? Because it has been said that most contractors are not sincere when it comes to the quality of the building they build. A situation where they say some of these contractors are very economical with building materials just to enable them to save money. You ask a contractor to mix 25 bags of cement, you see him mixing just 10. For a structure that will require like 25 bags to be mixed. But that means that too is an issue we should look like. Well,
Yes. The contractor, I think the thing here is what Mr. Silas pointed at, the Nigerian factor, where everybody is trying to cut corners. The contractor, everyone is culpable in this issue of collapsed building, from the contractor to the owner of the building to the government. You brought up the issue of the contractor, and it's very, very likely that substandard materials were used. And I wouldn't say that this was not, there weren't any red flags. There were red flags going by the reports that we had. A structural consultant, the company that was structural consultants to the project, had last year opted out, sent a letter to the owner that we will not be able to continue with this project. And they gave their reasons for not going on, that we'll be able to put our integrity on the line, that these buildings, stand the test of time, that quality materials are being used, that quality is not being compromised in the erecting of this structure. So that in itself was a huge red flag for the promoter of that um, structure building to look deep into it is on the level of the contractors. That was a red flag. And again, good a thing that the Lagos State governor um, suspended the head of the Lagos State building control. As we speak, is on indefinite suspension. So that's a good move, because his agency issued it, and it's also the responsibility of that agency for a building of that nature to begin to check it floor after floor, being that it's not just like a 2 or 3 story building. So there should have been lights on each of the building, to each of the floors, to the material meets up with the standard that can hold such a building, and then that they were to specifications that were given to them from the agency. So all of these were red flags, were handled as they should. So besides the contractors doing what they do, there are people who have been saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that they did the right thing, and those ones did not carry out their duties. And that a company would go to the extent of writing, putting it in writing, that I don't want to continue with this project. I want you to remove the flag in front. I don't want to be associated with this thing, because we cannot stand for what we are seeing. They actually gave a vote of confidence, because it's actually for it's actually 3 buildings, and they handled the other 2 scratch to top, and they gave a vote of confidence for those other 2 buildings. But for the 3rd one, they said the quality has been correct, as at certain floor they wouldn't be able to continue with it. So that in itself was enough to indicate something was wrong.
Actually wrong.
But nothing was done.
Well, it's like we're beginning to get some from our viewer.
I think we still have that today.
Well, let's see. Let's just see what the saying out there. We have Adebayo, who is saying, well done, George, Silas, and he said, my concern is that sadly the Gerard Road Ikoyi catastrophe was not the first in the state, but it appears no serious lessons were learned from previous fatal cases. There was no evidence of criminal prosecution of the contractors involved in the previous collapse, and the authorities that supervised them.
Yes, exactly what
Adebayo has a point.
that's what you said
Just like what you said, there's always the possibility that issues surrounding glass building will always be swept under the carpet.
we have to work. No, some say around what we call collective and measure. We quickly forget account. It's something with them. Other places, if an accident, there's an investigation, who done it, who is criminally liable. Who go jail for manslaughter, for this or that. Who has ever been prosecuted for causing accidents in Nigeria, and we have the broadest roads in Nigeria. We talk about the people that don't know road safety test. We have one of the highest rates of accidents in the world. Because we carry this jam factor and enter the road, right? People on the road, and then some of the big players in the industry, they have people, and they don't even so that happens. It's happened that people who have been okay when the pastor's church came down, Pastor Joshua, that gave I think almost
over 100 worship
yes,
pastors.
most of them and other African countries. Who has held liable for that? Nobody. That book is just like those, and nobody was found guilty. Not serious. And that's why we don't take us seriously. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
And apart from him,
And that's why other people not, do this kind of thing if they know that they can get away with it. See, let me tell you something. The what we talk about, they're not sense. They're not even that one that we are.
Yes.
So that they have laws and these laws hold them. If you know that they're going to break traffic, I don't catch you or one or the other, you don't break the traffic. But if in Nigeria, if you know that you can break it, nothing happens. So they were in Nigeria, they break the traffic, go and break it.
Of course.
So it is this idea of the institution putting you in check for them to behave like the way they're behaving.
yes,
And over some time, they get used to being lawful. They're unlawful.
This brings an issue to mind. There was a day I was in a vehicle going on, and then I saw a white man. And in fact, he came down of his vehicle and was actually peeing on the side of the road. And I looked at him and I said, can he do this in his country?
It's because he has seen
Because
that
he knows that
Nigeria is a lawless
is a
country.
lawless
Is it
that
Nigeria is doing it?
yes,
It's a normal thing for Nigeria.
and they can do it and they will get
But
away
you come
from
and
it.
say, oh, there's no law here.
That,
It's a
yes,
country.
it's a free country.
Do what I
So
want.
that is the same scenario that's played out in so many key institutions or sectors that we have seen here. You mentioned the issue of road accidents and here now collapse building, and in so many other, isn't it in our world of contract, no due process is followed, nothing, impunity in all sectors of the economy, and that is what sums up to be dragging down the economy, the system, the entire system.
Yes, as just like Adebayo about to just that post-collapse of this building, in the post-collapse of this building, nothing has been done to actually serve as deterrent to developers, contractors, and owners of the building to stop using substandard materials in building or erect structures that lack the needed. But wait, sorry, Salas, before I go, what of the pre-collapse of the building? What measures are being put in place to check against incidences of collapse? For instance, they say the Osibona, the law of this building that collapsed in Ikoyi, that he ignored the directive by the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority to ensure the structure. But now, even though he ignored the directive, why did the LAPPPA, why didn't they take action? And waited for you to erect that building up
to that level?
That means something is wrong.
It's wrong.
Yes.
Initial is still unfolding. That the initial approval that was given for that structure was 15 stories.
For the government, this going to come here. To 21. Whether they are trying to cover up
or not. But like you pointed out here, there are people, and these people, when it is issues that will have them, people raise their palms. They know how to disturb. They really know how to disturb. If you think they don't, try erecting any small building somewhere, and you will see that before you even do anything, they will come and mark that place for demolition. So until something happens. So why is it that if they can do that to small buildings around, is it the high profile of feel where it is that scared them or what. I don't.
I think we should not just divert that the issue is that it's under compromise, and when senators and advice in Nigeria, you know, something has happened under the table. That's just what happened. The man is not there to tell what happened. But the issue, I think that other countries, when they have a tragedy like this, it is a way for them to withdraw the laws and to fight that they will work against having such elections. Nigeria will keep falling into the same trap, the same tragedy, and nothing changes. So what are we going to after this now? What is the Nigeria to do with building structures going to do to show that this kind of thing does not happen again? Or is it that after 2-3 months, the politics, other things will come over and they will put about this one? Until now I'm broke down and come back shouting, so why are they taking ourselves seriously?
Sorry, Silas, it's like we have another comment from our viewer here. And of course, we are talking of we have what is the name there? Plug D. So he said, please, while talking about the collapse of the Ikoyi building of innocent Nigeria, what has the government done for the affected family? I think he's talking about compensation. Is there any provision for this? Compensation for the victims of this collapse building?
I have not seen any of the reports where the government is
talking about
compensation for the victims. It's been advocated. It's been widely advocated. Yes, it will be.
Most people who died in that incident are breadwinners of their family. And you know how many families are rendered useless without any their breadwinners are born in the last building.
This is what is insurance
taking care of.
Because the government insisted getting the building insured. This is something not going to government because it's not enough to go around. But now you are not trying to divert that money to go and settle because of the case committed by few individuals. That's to have kind of maintain some kind of government preparation of government. Well, but the government has insisted on getting the pay short when it should have done that. Now, there are no government consisting there, but just and the report is sure that it will not cost 100 of the building cost to show that building. Yes. Just a fraction of it. Of course, 1%. I think I like 1% or so. What is and they couldn't just do that. So I need to learn. The problem with that, people when they spend government money, they don't feel any part, or they feel it's their money. It's there's all that about government money. If not, if government to suffer to spend this money like an individual, they will make sure that next time they will not allow themselves to fall into this kind of situation where they have to pay for it's not their fault.
Of course, Mr. Sir, before we go find look at one thing. You see, they say for people to have the needed integrity, all the materials must be standard materials. The quality for such a building. But are we talking of using substandard materials in this? Where do they get this substandard material? Nigerian market.
It will not be that the materials are standard. But they are not the. So if they, like you said something before, like if the rod, if the rod maybe needed the rod
yes,
and because the one of 8 mm is deeper and is close to 10 mm, so that's much 8 mm.
Yes.
So it's not the
forgetting about the kind of structure that
they're going to put
it. They can carry it. But now they check the difference, the cost, and then maybe they're getting 10 million and buy that one, and somebody look close eye, and instead of insisting, maybe somebody finds out, and so say, you can carry it. You just give one shade and they keep quiet.
And then in terms of the block, like pointed out, if they were supposed to use 25
Right,
bags,
They use
they will use
20,
10
or use
or
20.
15.
because the contractor will divert the remaining 15 to his own personal use.
So these are
So
kind
those
of
are
corruption
things.
in the country.
So
You see that corruption,
besides
I tell you, corruption is not just in government alone. Corruption begins right from we.
it's everywhere. Go to
In
some streets, nowhere you go.
in a nutshell, what are the remedial measures for approaches to building collapse in the country, Madam?
there are laws that govern how approvals are, and there are also regulations, rules and regulations on how a building should proceed. Let the officials who are saddled with this responsibility be up to their responsibility, and not be so much concerned about self-aggrandizement, because that is what is happening here. Once they grease their palms, they neglect the right thing to do, and then those people go on to do whatever they want to do, forgetting that they can't always get away with it, like in this case.
Yes, Silas, in just 1 minute, what do you think are the remedial measures or approaches to building collapse can be done to stop the ugly trend?
Well, you know, it's not just about building. You know, you cannot have a perfect building sector in a country where every other sector is collapsing. I think the country needs to generally depend from our evil ways. Because as buildings are collapsing, that is how other sectors of the country are collapsing. And we're not doing ourselves. This is because they kill people and it is hot. The other sectors of the country are collapsing in that same way, in different dimensions. And that's why the lab of Nigerians are getting worse and worse by the day. So we need to change the way we're going. And we need to begin to say, this is the law, let it be apply. Not just the way it happens.
Well, that is the much we can take for today's edition of the big issue. And of course, I thank you, our viewer, for keeping tab with us out there. And of course, I'll not fail to thank our in-house analysts, Silas and Insect, for a job well done. Well, join us same time tomorrow for another edition of the big issue. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.